Welcome to Chokeholds and Chill, where the arm bars are tight and the conversations are deep.
We're Jenn and Mal, two women navigating life, mat burn, and the wild world of Jiu Jitsu, one episode at a time.
From white belts to black, trauma to triumph, we bring you the real stories from the people who roll through it all.
So tighten your belt, take a breath, and let's get into it. All right. Welcome to another episode of Chokeholds and Chill. This week's episode is a little bit different, and we're super excited about it. Our guest is Alexis Stevenson, who is a jiu-jitsu practitioner, as well as a behavior analyst and black belt level thinker with a global reach. And we talked to her a lot about that today.
Lex and I actually met in Costa Rica for the first time at a jiu-jitsu retreat. And since then, I've watched her combine her clinical expertise with that gentle art in a way that's thoughtful, practical, and powerful.
Yes. And she recently presented some of her work on acceptance and commitment therapy in Iceland at a jiu-jitsu retreat. And today we're diving into how that intersects with life on and off the mats. And I know that Jenn and I definitely both took away some tools and really just a lot of insightful stuff from this conversation. So we hope everybody enjoys it.
And with that, welcome to Chokeholds and Chill.
So you're doing Master Worlds?
Yeah. Just turning 30.
Okay, so we can meet. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not officially going yet, but I need to buy your ticket.
I know.
It'd be a great time, I'm sure.
Welcome to Chokeholds and Chill. And Mallory and Jenn are here today with our guest, Alexis Lex Stevenson.
Yay! Welcome.
Yay.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We are super excited to have you because we have kind of looked into your slideshow that you sent us a little bit. So it's called Behavioral Science Meets the Gentle Art, Acceptance and Commitment Therapy on and off the mats. And just to clarify, so your title would be you're board certified and licensed behavior analyst?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into that?
My undergrad, my bachelor's is in some alternative health. I was very hippy dippy, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I got some random health degree. It did nothing for me. And so after I graduated, I just went on Indeed and was looking for anything that would get me into a health field. And I saw this entry-level therapist position. All I needed to take was a 40-hour course and pass a test, and I could work with children with autism. And after I applied for that, 5 minutes later, the owner messaged me and was like, "Hey, come interview." I interviewed with her. She's like, "Okay, I'm going to give you a chance." And I was like, "Oh, thank you."
Amazing.
And I've been working with her for 8 years now. 6 months in, I went back to school for my master's in applied behavior analysis, and I love the field so much. It's great. I was lucky I just randomly came upon that job ad.
Yeah, that's amazing. Some things are just serendipitous and meant to be. That's freaking cool as shit, though. So tell us a little bit about you, Lex. Where are you from, and what do you do for fun? We know you love jiu-jitsu, but I know that you do some other cool stuff. So talk to us about those kind of things.
I do jiu-jitsu, of course. I started that 2017, I believe. I don't know. I did it because I worked at a yoga studio and I taught Pilates, and that was pretty fun. And it was attached to some jiu-jitsu gym, and the guys there were nice. I was dating one of them, and I went to a tournament to go support. And then that day I bought a gi.
Yeah.
And it was all like, I'm going to start training Monday. So yeah, I quit for a little bit, came back. That's my big thing that I do. Not quit and come back, but jiu-jitsu.
Like you just take breaks.
Time off.
That's the only time off I took.
What was it about that comp that like made you decide to sign up? Like what happened? Why did you like it so much?
I really liked the energy. Like it was loud and like very, I don't know. There was like a whole community there. Like everyone knew each other. Like people were saying hi to the coach that was at the gym that I did end up signing up for. And it was just, I don't know, togetherness. And I was like, I want to be a part of this. This is so cool.
I love that answer.
Yeah,
Because
with that.
Yeah, because when I think about jujitsu, like togetherness is a really good word to use. So that's so cool. Oh, and you dove right in. You bought a gi right off the bat. Like that's wild. I waited. I was like a few months in and I was like, all right, I guess I'll commit to the gi.
Yeah, 4 weeks later I did my first competition.
Amazing.
How did you do?
I got smashed.
Did you?
I got smashed in my first comp too. Oh, good times.
I still get smashed. I'm expecting that same results at Master Worlds, but whatever, it'll be fun. That's why I do it, because it's fun. I get better, but I'm having a great time, even if I lose.
That's amazing.
That's fantastic.
Do you want to tell us where you live right now and where you train?
Oh, I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I train at Angle Jiu Jitsu in Green Valley, and I love it. I've been there 5 years now. We have a very heavy female presence. We have like multiple female black belt coaches, and it's just a very safe and welcoming gym. So if you guys ever want to check it out when you're here.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. I'm literally like, oh, I'm not competing. I've got nothing to lose. Let's go train.
Yeah, hell yeah. So, and then you and Jen just recently met in Costa Rica, correct?
We did.
Now, yeah.
Okay. So tell us about your first meeting. And you're like, I'm interviewing both of you right now. But Jen, what was your first impression of Lex?
This was the solo Chewy camp.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a smaller group than the January camp. So it's a little bit more close knit. And I think we were all at the Wyndham, right, Lex?
Yes.
Yeah. So everybody was in one place and we just kind of hung out in the pool, and she's so like calm and chill, and I'm not. So it was like very like relaxing to be around somebody who I didn't have to like try to just like keep up with the energy and like be as pumped as everybody else is, because I am, but I'm not also. So
And Lex, what was your first impression of Jen? Because I was scared of her.
The Chewy camp was my first like jiu-jitsu camp ever.
Oh, cool.
And so like I think I stalked her on Instagram because I saw her name that she was
we
going.
were Instagram friends first.
Yeah,
cool.
and I messaged her. I was like, "Hey, it's my first camp. I don't know anyone. Like, can I hang out with you?
Let's be friends."
Yeah. And like, I don't know. Like, even on Instagram, I was like, okay, she seems safe. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a girl's girl. Like, I need to latch on to the girls there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was a smaller group of women this time too, but
It was.
fun.
Oh,
It was
we
super
love
fun.
women supporting women. Oh,
Especially on the mats.
Yes.
And in life.
All right. So I love these first impressions, but let's go ahead and dive into your work and the stuff that you shared with us, because it's super, super interesting. So
yeah. So I did a workshop in Iceland. Have you guys done a Globetrotters camp before by chance?
no.
I have not, but my friend Mel has done that Iceland one before. Loved it.
Yeah. So I did a workshop there. It was my first Globetrotters camp highly recommend. It was the last year of Iceland, so I can't say go to that one.
Oh.
But beautiful, beautiful camp. They asked beforehand, like a week before camp, they're all like, hey, does anyone have anything we want to do a workshop on? Does it have to be jiu-jitsu related? And I have a friend who goes to a couple of them. She's like, yeah, they do like hip hop dances and like yoga classes and like how to be confident. And I was like, oh, so what about this? You think this would be a cool idea? And she's like, yeah, you should do it. And so I emailed them and like, I was like, oh, it's not that cool. They're going to say no. Like, they don't want it. And they emailed me the next day. They're like, yeah, you're on the schedule. And I was like, oh.
Yes.
That's incredible. So you signed up for a jiu-jitsu class or jiu-jitsu camp, and then you end up giving a presentation on behavioral science and acceptance and commitment therapy.
Yeah.
And it was just like an open presentation for everybody at the camp.
Yeah. So their camp is all day. It's like 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And they do classes, open mats, and then these workshops.
Wow.
And so people can choose what they want to do. My workshop was on the second day of camp and during 2 open mats. And so I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
People are gonna go to my class. And when I first went in, I was like, wow, there's a lot of people in here. I think they're confused. And I was like, hey, guys, if you want a jiu-jitsu class, they're in the other rooms. And they all just stared at me. And I was like, oh, okay. You're all staying here for my workshop. Cool.
That's fucking awesome.
That is so cool. Oh, so tell us, how did that idea to connect those 2 things, so jiu-jitsu and acceptance and commitment therapy, how did that come together for you?
So with ACT, I really got into it a couple years ago. They didn't really teach it in my master's program, but part of my licensure, I have to take continuing education classes. And so I've done workshops, like 3-day boot camps on it. And I love it. It really bridges what I do with applied behavior analysis and like more so psychology and like mental health. And I was like, oh, this is for me. And I didn't even think to apply it to jiu-jitsu until I got that, like, hey, we're looking for workshops. And I was like, boom, it could work for jiu-jitsu. And it was pretty random. And it took me a week to make the presentation. And I was like, wow, this actually does work. Okay, so behavior analysis, it's a science. The proper definition is a scientific approach to understanding and changing behavior. We focus on how learning takes place and how our environment and consequences influence our actions. It's rooted in the idea that behavior is not random. It is learned, predictable, and can be changed. So some examples I could give you is a dog learning to sit because they get a treat. I hit my snooze on my alarm every morning because it delays that aversive experience of getting up to go to the gym.
I feel attacked.
Yeah. Yeah, or even like changing your partner's behavior and putting an extra laundry basket next to the shower instead of them just piling their clothes everywhere in the bathroom. Yeah, it's everywhere, and people just don't think that there's a science behind what we do as humans, or they don't realize it.
Freaking cool. I'm shook right now because I'm like, wait, all you gave is add an extra laundry basket and he'll stop.
I just like how you gave us real world examples that were directly related to us without even intending to.
She's been around for a second. She's like, most people do this.
Yeah. So what's the primary focus of behavior analysis, and what kind of like challenges and behaviors can it help with?
So The primary is understanding why behavior happens and then using that understanding to change it for better. It's not just bad behavior, but like all behavior. Till we can help people learn new skills and communicate more effectively, build independence, have a better quality of life, help those who want to quit smoking, drinking, workplaces for safety or performance and motivation, get people to go to the gym instead of binging Netflix. What I do specifically, though, is I help those with developmental disabilities learn how to communicate and manage their emotions and aggression and tantrums and stuff like that.
I want that. 25-year-old me really wants that. So you talk about the term 3-term contingency in the slides that you sent us and in your work. Can you talk a little bit about what that is and how that plays out in everyday behavior?
Yeah, so the 3-term contingency is where everything stems from. Studying it can tell me everything I need to know about why someone is engaging in a behavior, as well as how to change, prevent, or teach them. So there are the ABCs. So the first one is our antecedent. That is an event or stimulus that occurs before a specific behavior, and it can influence whether or not that behavior will occur. So in jiu-jitsu, we have all these triggers for us. If an opponent grabs our collar, we're going to probably want a collar or grip break. If they're going for an arm bar, we're like thumbs down or up, whatever. I don't know how to keep arm bars. They're the death of me. But also vice versa. It can influence behaviors or make sure behaviors don't occur. So if we're the ones going for the arm bar and they try to stack or hitchhiker out, there are certain manipulations we can put in place to prevent their behavior from occurring to get that escape. Are you following so far? That was a lot.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So the B in the contingency is our behavior. So that's anything observable and measurable, and that's exhibited by an individual. So it's anything we do. It could be an internal thought or an external thing. Our consequence is going to be what happens after that behavior, and that could either reinforce or discourage the behavior from occurring again. In my slides, I have a picture of BJ Penn and some other guy. I can't remember the name for the life of me.
It should be remembered. I can't remember either, but this was a tragic moment.
Yeah, he was caught in a heel hook, and that was the antecedent. It triggered his behavior. Despite training since 17, he turned the wrong way, and in consequence, something popped. He said it was his ankle. The other guy said it was a knee. Who knows? But either way, it sucked. He learned not to do that again with heel hooks.
And kind of ended his MMA career.
Yeah.
I'm glad this isn't a video podcast because my face right now,
We're
just
looking at your slides.
like looking at this picture, I'm cringing so hard. But wow, yeah, so that's really cool though. I like that you're using like jiu-jitsu language to, make this make sense to us and make it make sense to our listeners, because honestly, like it is really, really cool. So let's get into more of the ACT, the acceptance and commitment therapy. And so what is it? How is it different from other therapeutic approaches?
So ACT is a form of therapy that helps us acknowledge our relationship with our thoughts and feelings instead of changing them. So other therapeutic approaches are trying to fix the painful thoughts and feelings, whereas ACT, we want to make room for them and let people experience them, still feel alive, and work around them and work with them.
Yes.
That's really interesting. So I want to expand more on that, and how did you get drawn to that form of therapy? And is that the primary therapeutic approach that you use?
Not for my clients. My clients are like 2-year-olds.
Okay. Okay.
This is very profound right now for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I try to I'm the assistant director at my clinic, and so I try to use this for my staff
Oh, cool.
because it's a very draining job, or it can be. And
Yeah.
so I just want to make sure, like, I'm like, hey, if you're in it for the right things, like your goal and value is to help people and change people's lives and do all of this, know that what you're doing and your behavior is doing that. And it kind of helps them. Like, they're like, oh, yeah, you're right. I feel better. It is stressful, but it's fine. I'm having a great time.
The regroup.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, like, because working with kids, like, as a byproduct, you're working with their parents too.
Yes.
I work in the therapy world, so it's like when I worked with kids, it's like you're just as much working with the parents and needing them to participate and understand what's going on.
Mhm.
So,
Yes.
like, just looking at and like hearing you talk about like what ACT is, some of that stuff feels like it would be applicable in like giving those tools to parents of
Yes.
kids that you work with.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It is. They're all so tired and burnt out.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I try to do it when I can with them.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I needed this as a young parent. Like, this is great shit. So how does ACT connect with jiu-jitsu, and what parallels do you see?
So I have a simple answer. I mean, I think it's simple, but I ACT and Jiu-Jitsu both teach us how to breathe through the choke, and stay present under pressure and move towards what matters, even when your brain or your opponent is screaming at you to quit.
Yes. It's working through instead of feeling like you can go around. You have to work through the hard part.
Yes.
I feel like something that I frequently say to other people about like what jujitsu has given to me is that it's given me the ability to find calm in chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like, I'm thinking that directly relates to what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The people I work with ask me all the time. They're like, "Oh, you do jiu-jitsu? Like, how is it? Is it helpful?" I'm like, "Yes. Like, you learn so much patience, and like, I think people in my field should get into it because you're getting beat up by these kids potentially, and it could be a very high stressful situation. But I'm cool as a cucumber."
Yeah. I feel like I feel like my ability to cope with things and like manage my emotions has improved, not just because, I've consciously worked on them now as an adult, but because jujitsu has given me more tools. So it's like,
I agree.
It's so cool. You talked about in the presentation you did how ACT is very value driven. What does that mean, and how does it values guide our choices in life and in training?
So, finding your values is hard. When I did this in my workshop, I have a slide that has just 100+ values on it, and people would come up and look at it and then be like, yeah, I guess that's important. And like, they had no idea, like, trying to work through what's important in your life. They're like, yeah, I guess. But being able to know your values, whether jiu-jitsu is the work aspect of your life or it's that leisure aspect of your life, finding what's important in those areas is what's going to help you drive your behavior and decision making. By reflecting on your own personal values, we can align ourselves and carry ourselves in a way that is important to us. Knowing health, fitness, growth, challenge, community, competition, connection, consistency, perseverance, all of those values are important to us. Like, jiu-jitsu is probably going to be your thing.
Yeah.
And you're going to be happy doing it and want to go do it. But if those aren't aligned, I don't know if you saw on my slide, there's a text message between a friend of mine, and her values didn't really align with jiu-jitsu that much. She went for the quality time aspect of it, to be with her husband. She wasn't really into the sport. And so with her, there was a disconnect and a lot of anxiety and guilt and all these negative emotions when it came to training. And she ended up quitting and realized like what her behavior wasn't reflecting her own values. And now she's doing things that are actually like bringing her joy and happiness.
That's cool.
That is really cool. And like looking at this list, we'll have to share some of these because obviously we think about values. Like I think about, basic things, love, loyalty, happiness, faith, stuff like that. But this extensive list of values, like some of them I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that is a value that I have. I didn't even realize that I have. So that's really, really cool. We'll have to share some more of those with our with the listeners. But wow. So tell us a little bit more. Can you tell us some of your values and how those align with what you do for a living and jiu-jitsu?
Yeah. So with jiu-jitsu specifically, my values are health and fitness. Like I am very big on staying healthy and being physically fit. It also might become a little beauty could be a value. But maybe I'm not that vague. But growth, like I'm always want to push myself to be better. Adventure as well. Like I haven't felt I've traveled out of the country 3 times now. 2 of those times were for jiu-jitsu stuff.
That's cool. That's really fun.
And I, like with the Iceland camp, like I met some of the best people there. And like, we're all like, we're going to go to Estonia next year together. We're going to do this camp. And we just have like friendship and like even more adventure coming from this sport. And so this is like perfect for me.
Yes. It kind of gives back, right? Like the sport, it's not just a sport. There's so much more to it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Like the community and like there's competition to it, but like at the end of the day, like I'm following everyone I competed with online. Like we're friends, we're rooting for each other in other competitions. It's really nice. I don't know if I was thinking about this the other day, but I don't know if you guys watch like the UFC BJJ stuff.
Some of it, yeah.
Every time they interview someone, they're like, oh, he's such a nice guy. Like, I can't wait to go against him. He is so good. And like, that's really what this sport is. I mean, like, sure, there's people that like don't like each other and stuff, but like, no, like we respect and enjoy each other for the most part.
It's such a huge point too, because I was talking with one of the guys at the gym exactly about that the other day, that when you're watching like Ultimate Fighter or another show where it's like dedicated more towards the MMA style of things, there's a lot of aggression and fight value, and like they're gonna come after this and they're drinking, or like things just aren't going well for them and they're melting down. And then you watch the BJJ side of things and everybody's like at the same fucking dinner table and kind of laughing, and like the biggest possible rift is that Mikey questioned the ecological style of jiu-jitsu, and it's very quickly like, no, maybe I just misunderstood. Like
it really is a special community, like truly. And like some of the values that I feel like really align with jiu-jitsu is like a huge one for me is accountability. Yeah. And like being a part of a community like this, like definitely holds me accountable. And that's something that I need in my life. So yeah. Oh, I love all of this. And I'm like, I'm going to ask you for lots of like reading references at the end of this. But yeah, let's kind of move forward. Yeah.
You talk a little bit about cognitive fusion versus cognitive diffusion. So what is that, and what does that mean for athletes or people that are functioning with high anxiety?
So cognitive fusion, that occurs when we become overly attached to and controlled by our thoughts as if they were facts rather than just these mental events. When that happens, we may act in a way that are inconsistent with our values or goals because we're being driven by this perceived truth. So when we tell ourselves things like, I'm too anxious, I'm not good enough, we're going to engage in these avoidant behaviors. I'm not going to go to class. I'm not going to compete. I'm not going to go out with my friends. I'm going to pull away from this relationship XYZ. Whereas ACT goal is to create the diffusion with those thoughts. So we want to create a distance between our thoughts and our actions. So ACT is all about metaphors and these fun little practices. So can I ask you guys to do something silly? Okay. So can you think of something that comes to mind that you put as a rule for yourself? Like my examples I was giving, I'm too anxious, I'm not good enough, I'm a bad partner, et cetera, whatever you come up with.
Okay. You want to hear them?
If you're comfortable with sharing them out loud, yes, but can you share them in a really stupid, silly voice and just repeat it over and over again?
Oh my God. That's where it just got hard.
Okay. All right.
Valerie, go right ahead.
Okay. Well, sometimes I am like in my head about not being a good enough partner because sometimes my priorities don't align the way they should. Like when I'm in like my jujitsu like obsession phases.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't feel like a good enough partner. I don't feel like a good enough partner. I don't feel like a good enough partner.
That's
Okay.
I'm fucking crying.
Did I do it right?
Yeah.
I don't think I can.
That's perfect.
Oh my God.
I get a gold star.
I cannot breathe.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Jen, your turn.
I wasn't going to have to edit any of this episode, but now we might. Okay. Oh, I don't do this though.
You don't have to.
No, like I'm trying to think of like something that I do to myself because I just go to fucking class. I don't care.
Yeah.
It could be any part of your life.
Yeah, that's
too.
what I'm trying to think. Like I feel like I talk too much. 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 I talk too much.
That was beautiful.
Giving the snaps right now. That was beautiful.
I can't not Mallory though. That was fucking great. Oh my God. Anyway, now that I'm all embarrassed over here, carrying on.
Trying to get a group of 30 people to do this was so hard. They all just stared at me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I knew this was going to happen." So thank you. But that is a little diffusion practice, and it helps like make those thoughts visible, but they sound ridiculous because you guys sounded absolutely crazy.
Thank you. I feel so seen.
And like you feel silly when you do that, and then you're all like, "Oh, these thoughts are silly. Like, what?
Yeah.
Why am I listening to this? Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna do it."
Yeah,
I love this.
That's fucking great. Oh my God. I think honestly, like the reason that was difficult for me, and I did not know that this was like a thing until this moment, but I have such high anxiety that I've worked very hard to like, if I'm saying something to myself like, oh, you shouldn't do this, or oh, you can't do this, I have like the fuck it gene that's like, nope, fuck it, we're going. Like, we're doing it anyway, and then I have to go right then, and I cannot think about it again. Otherwise, it doesn't go well.
Yeah, that's
So, okay.
Yeah, no, it's just like
Look it up.
super interesting to me. So I struggle with OCD and like definitely like use some of these ACT principles like without really realizing it in my daily life. So this is so cool to me.
And
Like
we're obsessed with jiu-jitsu, so it all makes sense.
no, I mean it's definitely is this a huge like therapeutic approach that is used with like OCD?
It can be used for those like mental health or rigid OCD stuff like that, but like trauma and abuse survivors, pretty much anyone.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It feels very like a good like PTSD tool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like very, very like, oh, I could get through this next hour with this.
What happens? So we talk about like mindfulness and avoidance a little bit. Like what happens when people get disconnected from like the moment that they're in, like stuck into like past or spiraling into the future? I know that I definitely can have the tendency to spiral and feel stuck. Yep.
Yeah. So people like we get so caught up in things like how things used to be, or future deadlines, competitions. When I'm in class, the two things I'm thinking about the most is what am I going to eat next? Or, oh, if I learned this a month ago, I probably could have got out of that person's guard. And then when I turn to my partner, I'm like, did you get what he taught? And they're like, no. And we're both like, fuck. Like, wow.
Relatable.
100%.
Yeah. So not being present and aware can really create anxiety or autopilot behavior, which then can make us react based on habit, fear, or impulse. We could miss opportunities that align us with our values. So if we do value growth and getting better and all of that in jiu-jitsu, and we're just like, yeah, what am I going to do this weekend? And we're not actually learning anything that we're supposed to learn to help us reach those values. We're SOL. Not really. Well, the coach will probably come around and help you in the end, but
kind of until they're like, "Oh no, not again."
At work, zone out in meetings, you can miss details, and then all of a sudden you're behind in anxious relationships. If you're zoning out with like your partner talking to you, you're probably going to get upset, or your partner's going to get upset at you for not listening and feeling unheard. And then so being aware and being present is when we're actively engaging in the here and now and like paying attention on purpose. There's even more techniques and fun exercises for this, but I'm gonna put a little fusion rule on myself and say I do not have the voice for any mindfulness lead exercises.
Got you. If ACT is highlighting acceptance versus experimental avoidance, can you talk about that in simple terms and where that might show up in training?
Yeah. So emotions are hard to deal with, and ACT, like I said, is working with the emotions. Whereas more often than not, people have their vices and they're uncomfortable with those feelings and physical sensations that may come up with them. They drink, smoke, doom scroll through TikTok or Instagram. One way or another, it's probably not healthy what they're doing. Acceptance is going to help us acknowledge and embrace our internal experiences rather than avoid them, even if we don't like that feeling. There are 4 A's to this. We got acceptance, acknowledge, allow, accommodate, and appreciate. The way I taught them in my workshop is I broke apart a very popular like story and made it more so jiu-jitsu related instead of they talk about some creepy uncle. I don't know.
I'm like, I'm fully invested in both of these stories. Whatever version, just bring it in. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so picture this. You show up late to class. Everyone is paired up except for that one teammate. Maybe they're the one that smells a little funky. They're awkward, or they go a little too hard or too soft. The spazzy white belt. But either way, no matter what it is, you don't want to roll with them. You get on the mat. You're avoiding eye contact. You adjust your belt. Too bad they come up to you and ask you if you want to partner up. You'll probably be like, please, not today. They're there, and you can't you can't say no, but like no one else is there for them. You're the only person left. Just like that, this person is your unwanted thoughts. Okay, I'm just going to put that right there so the analogy makes sense as it goes on.
Okay.
So we acknowledge this person. Yes, let's train. Come on. But wait, before we start, I'm going to request some accommodations. I am working on open guard. Can we do that? Maybe because they're a little smelly. Keep them far away as you can. So great. They're just working on passing. You're working on open guard, but they got past your guard, and you're all like, "Hey, can you do that again and run it back? Because I want to see how I could prevent you from doing that and troubleshoot this spot." And then you learn to appreciate them. You're like, "Yeah, that actually helped me, and I learned something out of it." So, in short, in the story, you acknowledge and allow this uncomfortable, not preferable situation to happen without trying to suppress it or push it away. We made accommodations to minimize the impact, and then we learned something out of it.
Okay. I really like that that metaphor there. Can you also share the creepy uncle one for our non jiu-jitsu listeners?
The creepy uncle story.
Yeah, so that one, it's your uncle shows up at your house, and uninvited. He's not like harmful or anything, not too creepy, but he's annoying. And you're just all like, oh yeah, sure, come on in. Can I get you this? Do you need some water? You're accommodating him. And then you realize you're like, hey, you're actually very good, like handyman. Can you help me with this problem I have in my house? And then you appreciate him. And that's just the super quick, fast version of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. No, that makes sense though. Yeah, so next you mentioned a little bit about self as context versus content. Can you talk about that a little bit? Like kind of explain it to me like I'm in third grade.
Yeah, this one is really
This is the
hard.
self-talk, right?
Yeah, this one, it took me forever. Like, I'm still a little like, oh, wow, okay. Okay, so self as content, that is when we're stuck on our labels. So I am an athlete, I'm a competitor, I'm a mom, I'm a coach, I'm a friend, I'm anxious. Whatever labels you have for yourselves. These labels are not always bad. Because I'm going to act different when I'm a boss label on versus like I'm a teammate. They kind of give us a guideline on how to act to connect to the people we're with. But some people are so connected to these labels that it sets they're stuck in their ways. They put it on themselves, and it can really mess with their mental health or affects their behavior. So I don't know, like I'm sure you guys had really bad relationships before.
Oh, yeah.
But my ex doesn't listen or do jujitsu, so I'll talk about him a little bit. I should have got the red flag right then and there, because right in the beginning he's all like, "I'm a bad guy.
Oh,
I'm
no.
a bad boyfriend. I cheat on all my girlfriends," and I was like, "I could fix him."
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been there.
Been there, but haven't done that.
No.
But that was way before I knew, like, people get really stuck on those labels, and that is like his guideline to relationships now. Like, yes, he is the bad person. Yeah, he definitely cheated.
He set the tone.
Yeah.
He made all his excuses up front.
Yeah. I'm just colorblind, I guess.
We don't see it in that moment, though. You can't see it right then. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Not for young people, I feel like.
Yeah. So these rules and guidelines we set to ourselves really affect our behavior. Like, even going back to like trauma and domestic or sexual assault victims, like, they're like, "I'm a victim, I'm a survivor." It could create this fear and avoidance of, maybe their values are relationships and connection and love, but now they're so stuck, like, I'm a victim. This experience happened to me, that they can't, like, go out and do what they actually want to do, because they're so scared and, like, stuck with this. Competitive and professional athletes who get those career-ending injuries, they're likely to spiral, because that's who they are. That is their label. Gosh, in the workshap, I mentioned J-Rod. Hopefully no one comes for me for this.
Yeah.
Mention J-Rod.
Yeah.
Seriously. He aired his own dirty laundry.
Yeah. And, like, he spiraled a little bit. And because, like, jiu-jitsu is his, like, whole identity.
Yeah.
So creating this disconnect really helped. In the workshop, I had all these people on the piece of paper write, "I am," and fill in the blank, "I am," fill in the blank, "I am," fill in the blank, and they labeled themselves. They crossed it out one at a time. That really didn't matter. They had no idea what was happening. They're like, "Yeah, I don't feel anything. Like, whatever. I just crossed out that I'm an athlete."
Right.
And then the whole point in the end was that "I am" was still on that paper, and that "I am" is that core you, not your experiences, not your thoughts, not your feelings. And they were able to recognize, like, that is, those labels, those are the content of my life, whereas "I am" is the context, and I am just here and now, and not getting too caught up in everything. Hopefully that makes sense.
No.
That was perfect.
Cool.
That was perfect. Like, that last, like, sentence that you said, like, really struck a chord.
And I'm looking at your slide right now when I'm seeing, like, the person is, like, drowning in the cup of water with all of that I am. And then you just have "I am," ... And then the next cup, the person is just, like, floating, like, just super chill. Life is good. No problems.
That is so cool. I love that. I love that. That was really, really cool. Like, just, like, thinking about all of, like, the mindfulness and avoidance and the, like, being aware and, like, the present moment.
Yeah.
I think that these are all things that every human experiences. And, you know, whether it's jiu-jitsu that maybe helps you with that. Like, I know that it definitely has helped with my mindfulness and, like, being in the present moment, which is another thing that I really love about it.
Yeah.
But just, like, seeing how that is, you know, very applicable in, like, everyday life too. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the ACT matrix. And how can this help athletes make meaningful decisions, even when they're dealing with those shitty emotions and really difficult setbacks?
Yeah, so the matrix is a tool. It's kind of like just getting your thoughts on paper and organizing yourself, kind of like a behavior plan for yourself. So within the ACT matrix, there are 4 quadrants. In the bottom right quadrant, that is where someone would write their values. In my example, in my quadrant, I wrote adventure, friendships, health and fitness, growth, happiness. And it says win worlds. I don't expect it, but
No, you're going to do it. Stop
manifesting.
Manifest it.
it's
Yes.
really cool.
It's a real thing and you know it. Do it.
But here, values, goals, what you want out of life. And then to the left of that, to the left of that, so the bottom left quadrant, these are going to be any internal thoughts, feelings, either physical or emotional feelings that come to light that are stopping you from reaching your goals and what's important to you. So in here, I have some internal monologues. I'm not good enough. I don't feel like I'm making any progress. I feel burnt out, emotionally drained. Physically, my body feels heavy. There's a pressure in my head. You lose vision, kind of like seeing red. Internal monologue. No one wants to drill with me. And then the top left, these are the actual behaviors that we engage in. So the left side kind of go in a cycle here. So the actual behaviors would be, I don't go to class, avoid training or drilling with certain teammates, don't go out on team events or gatherings, sleep in, I may snap or yell or cry. I never actually yelled at a teammate, but I have cried a lot.
Valid.
And so when we engage in these behaviors, then we just cycle back down to our internal thoughts. Like they make us feel even more like shit. You're like, yeah, I didn't go to class today. Yeah, I'm not getting any better. Oh, I didn't go to class again. I'm definitely not getting any better now. So it's just a cycle with them. And so on the last quadrant, the right top, those are going to be our committed actions and what we're actually doing to obtain those goals and values.
Awesome. So what does a committed action look like in practice when you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed or you just don't want to go to the gym?
So committed action, like I said, behavior we want to engage in, and what we're moving towards, being able to recognize when we're listening to our brain and letting those internal events take over, and practicing some of those mindfulness techniques. Or maybe this one is probably my favorite technique, but looking at ourselves in a mirror and pretending we're a news anchor and letting that internal monologue out. And then feeling even more stupid. But whatever you're doing, like one of those committed actions has to be some sort of technique to break that like mental chain there, to separate yourself from those thoughts. And then Nike quote, just do it.
Yeah,
there you go.
Take your butt to class, go to sign up for that comp, go make a new friend. Because in the end, when you do those things that are actually aligned with your values and goals, you're happy, you feel good, you won, and you beat that little demon on your shoulder, and you're living life with no regrets and how you want to.
Yeah,
that's fucking awesome.
I'm totally going to use that news anchor in the mirror approach
every morning.
Just
highlights of the day.
I really can't imagine. I can imagine like just waking up in a shitty mood and being like, I don't want to go to work, but then looking in the mirror and be like, welcome to another episode of Mallory's fucking life. Like, And I can just see
start a TikTok.
I can see myself doing that and then like laughing about how ridiculous I am, but that like would snap you out of a mood.
Yeah.
It would.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. So I'm gonna do that and I'll keep you posted on how it goes.
Just put it online.
So I mentioned earlier how I was like, I'm gonna have to have you give me some references.
Yes.
But in your slideshow, you did include some recommendations. So for athletes or just anybody in general who might be struggling with some of this stuff, what are your go-to recommendations besides the, mirror approach? But any like books or exercises or any other tools that you would suggest?
Yeah, so the happiness trap is probably the most popular one. They have them at like Barnes and Noble and any bookstore wherever you are. That one's by Russ Harris. It has a big yellow smiley face on it. It also has like act cards, so like different practices you can do if you're not like a big reader or self-help book person. They have just little like prompt cards you could go through in your practice. And then Act in Sports by James Hergy and Christoph Holzman. I probably butchered those last names. That one's going to be more related to coaching or for athletes and using this practice.
Great.
Is there anything else that you want listeners to know about your world in behavioral science and its role in their personal growth, even outside of therapy?
I looked at this question and I couldn't think of anything. I wrote down some thoughts and all I said was be a good person, be someone who you're proud of, and make yourself happy. So when you're
That's amazing.
on your deathbed or people are at your funeral, like what do you want them to say about you? Like recognize that this can help you, and it's a really cool field. So if you're young and wondering what to go for in college, like we need people.
That's great.
That is so cool.
People are confused with what to do with life right now. I think that's the perfect direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this has been so interesting. Is there any other like takeaways that you want to give people?
No, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but if anyone has questions, I'm on Instagram, and I could help or answer questions.
And we will provide all of your information where to find you in our episode description. We always like to kind of wrap up our episodes with some rapid fire questions. If you are down for that.
Yeah.
They'll be kind of all over the place. So some jiu-jitsu, some, behavioral science, and just some random stuff.
Yeah.
So what's the first concert you ever went to?
Warped Tour in 20.
Yes.
like 2012, I think.
Oh,
I love it.
Wait, where at?
Man, I miss
Vegas.
In Vegas, it's
Nice.
miserable. Terrible. So
I think my
hot.
kids went that year too, and I think they were in Oregon somewhere.
Yeah, I used to go to Warped Tour every year for like years and years. Gi or no gi?
Oh, I'm a big no-gi person, but I train more gi.
Okay. What is your favorite value to align your training with?
Growth.
Love that.
It's both for jiu-jitsu and just in life.
Yeah. What would you say your jiu-jitsu spirit animal is?
Oh, well, that's a tough one.
A lot of people are speechless with this question.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something like a gnat, because they're like just annoying and you kind of swat them away, but they're just like, no, I'm going to keep trying and going for this. Like that's how I am I love legs and like, your foot's taken away, but I'm still going to keep going for it.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
That's my favorite game to play.
If you had a free one-way ticket to anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Oh, Japan. I'd really like to go to Japan out there. I heard jiu-jitsu is totally different, but it'd be cool to sightsee and try something new.
Yeah. Awesome. What is your favorite submission?
Right now, I mean, I'm not legally allowed to do them.
We don't care. We break all the rules.
But I'm really into knee bars.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that you should know them and be able to execute and escape long before you can legally do them, because everybody else is already good at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If ACT was a jiu-jitsu position,
Jesus.
what would it be?
Let's see. But let's see. Back take triangle, because I don't know why I said that.
That's honestly, that was like, I was thinking like friggin' on the back.
I'm brutal by this question.
Like, cause it's just like
What?
your like little backpack. You're backpacking all your little emotions.
I got
You're
you.
just
That's
gonna-
cute. Yeah.
That was my thought. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Morning. I get up 4 a.m. every day, go lift weights.
Oh my
work.
gosh. Bless you.
Yeah.
So if you're not training or working, what are you most likely to be doing?
Reading.
Nice.
I'm a big. I love smut.
Oh, girl.
What are you reading?
Right now, I'm reading. What is it called? I have it. Oh, The Stars Are Dying.
The stars are dying.
Stars Are Dying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
we can talk
vampire.
smut.
Yeah.
We can talk smut another time. Last question we always ask everybody is if your best friend had to describe you in 3 words, what would those words be?
Loyal. Let's see, fun and a little adventurous.
Yeah,
I love it.
that's great.
Fuck yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
well, this has been so great to talk to you, and I'm like really excited to hopefully meet you here in a few weeks.
Yeah. Buy
and
your ticket, Mallory.
yeah.
Let me know what day you're going to compete on, because I'm coming in on Wednesday, so I'll come down to the venue.
Yeah, cool. I think not till Friday, Saturday, but yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I feel like this has been very enlightening and interesting. And I'm definitely going to use some of these tools that we talked about today.
I'm excited. I want to share that with the world. So thank you for giving this knowledge to everybody.
Yeah, and we'll definitely share some of this information, maybe a couple of the slides if that's okay with you. But yeah, we really, really appreciate your time, and we appreciate what you do, because like you said, it is a huge need. So you're doing the Lord's work.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks again. Take care.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This was great.
Yes.
Bye.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Check us out on Instagram at chokeholdsandchillpod, or shoot us a message at chokeholdsandchillpod@gmail.com.